Clarity, credibility, and confidence. Those are the 3 C's that will help you as a female entrepreneur succeed. It's an exciting enterprise. You need to be able to focus on those 3 C's. Welcome to NxBizSuccess. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker, and we're going to visit with a female entrepreneur in the Omaha, Nebraska area. Her name is Leticia Barajas. She's a Hispanic marketing consultant. Welcome to NxBizSuccess.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Hey, you've been doing this how long as a consultant serving the Hispanic marketing industry?
15 years and counting.
Years. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Tell me, what was it that prompted you to do this? Was it deep confidence in your expertise and you saw an untapped niche, or what was essentially the thing that got you going?
Sure. It definitely was that I saw that there was a need that people didn't know how to fill. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what I continue to do today.
You saw an untapped need.
I saw an untapped need.
Okay.
You know, in professional positions I held, I was addressing different parts of the needs of the Hispanic community,
sure.
And never all of the needs, and that frustrated me. And so I decided finally, after seeing yet one more area where people were doing what they didn't know how to do very mm-hmm. well, mm-hmm. I decided that I could best serve the area by becoming a consultant and consulting to many.
And you worked out of your home initially?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was the first thing as you kind of got started on your business, Leticia, that you realized you had to kind of come to grips with or master or, you know, organize or whatever? What was the initial challenge for you as you got things going?
Well, the various positions that I had prepared me in a number of respective areas, so I felt like I had the skills to do this.
Sure.
And I also had a business degree, and so the basics of business, the business of business is what I call it.
Sure.
I had learned in college. And so it was that I wanted to focus on marketing. Mm-hmm. And so marketing to Hispanics, and so that is what I did.
So you had your mission.
Right. I had my vision, I had my mission, I knew what I was doing,
sure.
and I started out by marketing to the nonprofits because that's who I was familiar with working with.
Okay, so you knew your general mission, your area of expertise.
Right.
And you kind of headed in one general direction.
Right.
But you mentioned your degree and your background and so on. So you felt comfortable with all the aspects of running a business.
Sure.
Maybe accounting and setting up the computer and the desks and just the process and system of producing work and getting work.
Right, exactly.
Now, that's hard to do.
Well, and I had the confidence in that there was enough of a market for my services mm-hmm. that I was willing to launch the business.
Okay. Now you got out there and you got in front of some clients and you shared with me that your ability to listen clearly and carefully and really understand what they wanted from you. Tell me about that. I know when you know a lot, it's easy to talk about yourself.
Sure.
To understand what the client wants from you requires you to listen. And what was that all about?
Well, communication has 2 sides, the listening and the communicating.
Sure.
And I was comfortable communicating my message. But in business, you always have to understand what your potential customers' needs are,
right.
How much they know, how much they don't know,
right.
and what they expect or the results that they want.
Did you find that they expected something different, or that their expectations for the potential relationship with you were a little different or vague or different than you were thinking that you were there to provide?
Well, what I quickly learned is what the client says they want is often different from actually what it takes.
Yeah.
And that was the need, and that's where the need to listen and ask questions first put me on the right footing
yes.
With a client to go forward from there.
Now, as a female and a minority female, you also had some issues with credibility. And I think every entrepreneur, by the way, that
sure.
goes with the same thing. I mean, why are they on their own and so on? But especially a female and minority female, how did you enhance your credibility? What did you do so that was not an issue in terms of getting clients?
Well, there are 2 sides to it. There is me, and there is the potential client. On the side where I am concerned, mm-hmm. I did things like get a degree, mm-hmm.
get
professional experience,
mm-hmm.
and develop a track record of success so that I had something to communicate.
Sure.
But that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Because when I was in front of the clients, they would often look at me and they couldn't get past what they saw.
Yeah.
And in order to listen to my message. So then that's where I use my communication skills to learn to ask questions, learn to answer questions, not about the business I was offering them, but about me personally. And so that's how I learned to establish credibility with the client and learn to make them comfortable with me.
Right. That's so important and not an easy thing to do. It's kind of an intangible thing, and
very much so.
It requires more subtle communication skills, I guess, than somebody has learned, necessarily. You also shared with me the motivation for being an entrepreneur is different from everybody. Some people want autonomy or control. Some people want the money. All right. If you talk to young folks coming out of college studying entrepreneurial, most of them will tell you, I'm in it for the bucks.
It's all about the buck.
But on the other hand, you told me about your love of and your passion for the business and what gets you out of bed every day. Tell me a little bit about that. I think it's so insightful.
Every day when I get up, it really does feel like the first year of doing business, and so I can't believe it's 15 and counting. What I really attribute my success to is I have learned that you do what you love to do. So in my case, it's marketing, and in particular, marketing to Hispanics. I'm very passionate about that. And so I focus on that, and I focus on doing a good job for clients that I have carefully chosen as well, because I want to be doing a good job for clients who are doing something meaningful for themselves. And it's that whole idea of something meaningful for me, something meaningful for them. We're coming together. And if you really focus on that, the money will follow. And that's always been my approach and continues to be my approach.
So maybe the process over the outcome, just valuing that.
Well, it's a good process that leads to a good outcome.
Right.
And I'm not so concerned about the outcome as the process, because the outcome will naturally follow.
I couldn't agree with you more, and yet I have to tell you there are so many small entrepreneurs that struggle with cash flow issues and getting the next client and paying bills and so on, and it seems, I got to have a client that's meaningful, and the rapport has got to be just right, and so on. Do you ever struggle with that about maybe they're not the best client, but I need the cash, I need the fees right now, and so on? Do you ever go through that?
Not really. I of course, like everybody else, I have to pay the bills.
Sure.
But if you really position yourself to attract a certain customer, that's who you're going to attract.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And I think that took you a while, as you shared with me, to learn. Maybe the first 2, 3, 4 years, you weren't as sure about exactly who were you trying to appeal to and focusing.
Sure. Exactly, and especially as I've expanded to for-profit businesses over the years. Right,
exactly. Well, Leticia Barajas with Hispanic Marketing Associates in the Omaha, Nebraska area. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I find, solopreneurs are always they're a rare breed, and especially anybody who can keep on going for 15 years, much less a minority female. Is there any other advice as we wrap this up that you would give to a young woman who feels like she's got expertise, she'd like to do roughly the same thing that you've done? What would you say to that person right now, given the time and the tenor of the business economy that we're in today?
Know what you're good at and do that. Know what you need, and if that's not what you're good at, you're going to need to outsource that or hire employees, because it's always a team. Even when you're solo, you're not really solo. It really is a team.
Good. Great advice to wrap this up. Thank you so much. This is NxBizSuccess. My name is Lynn Hinderacher. I want to thank you for tuning in for the video podcast for the entrepreneur who needs to succeed. Keep on going and keep on growing.